Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 16th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we will get started shortly. Just got a couple of things here to update, and we should be good to go. Solid. All right, guys, perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we can start analysis once people make their way in. All right, links posted up. All right, so I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And once everyone's here, we can get started with our analysis for today. Hey T, how's it going? Morning. Morning, Gary. Morning, everybody. All right, so it looks like people are making the win right now. I'm just going to post this link on a couple of their pages, and then we should be good to go. Look it up on our social media real quick. All right, looks like people are still making their win right now. All right, perfect, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, March 16th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. Looks like about half of you guys are here so far. So let's get a few more moments for people to make their way in, and then we will get started shortly. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Martha. Morning, Vince. Morning, Karen. Morning, Christian. Morning, Kenny. Morning, everybody. So, all right, looking over here at all the charts, looks like everything is pretty much bearish for the day. So we'll probably be looking for sells for the most part. One thing that I wanted to kind of show you guys today, which is pretty cool. Let's see. So I'm not sure if you guys saw the profit posting from yesterday, but Vince is again in the top 10 of FTMO traders. So you guys can see over here, Vince is number 9 trader in FTMO on the leaderboard. He made 13% last month. He's been on the leaderboard for about 3-4 months now, every single month. So with Vince over here, I basically asked him, like, what are you doing differently? Because I do see his trades here. He's taking momentum scalp entries, but he has a little twist to it. So I'm going to be looking for the same trades that he's doing. He was graceful enough to tell me what he's been doing. He's just doing something it's not even anything special. He's basically doing what I'm doing, using the high lows and then taking momentum scalps off higher highs and lower lows. So I'll be looking for those entries there. I tested it, and during the New York session, almost every trade hit. So Vince has been taking trades every single day, and he's been hitting every single full TP. So every day he's hitting just wins. He never loses. And he shows me his screenshots here, and he showed me what he's been doing. So I'll be looking for these entries here. I've back tested it. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. So we'll be looking for those entries here as well on top of what we're already taking. So we'll be looking for the momentum scalp variations, momentum scalps, and momentum scalp failures, but I'm going to be incorporating the momentum scalps that he's taking as well. So to put simply, basically what he's doing is he's looking for trades. And there's another thing that I added to it because he doesn't really use trend, but I'm going to use trend with mine for the most part. I'll be looking for basically, I'll be using the high low indicator for example, over here, if I see like a lower low and I see price crossing the pivots over here, like a shift in trend. So this is an example right here. There's a lower low. There's a momentum signal right here. And this is where Vince would make his entry. CSUK actually took this and it was a full TP. So CSUK actually took this morning. And this one right here hit full TP. So it's really simple. That's all we're looking for. We're looking for higher highs or lower lows. And then we're looking for them across pivots. So like, for example, down here, we have lower low, buy signal across pivots. And that's a buy right there. And then for example, in the opposite direction, you look for a higher high with the sell signal. Another thing that I'm looking for here is I'm also looking for a valid signal. I'm not looking for invalid ones, but looking for valid ones. So we'll be looking for those entries on top of what we're already looking for. So we have a sell bias here. And I'm looking for higher highs and lower lows and looking for momentum signals to follow them. Because, you know, if Vince is making top 10 leaderboard and FTMO every single month, what he's doing obviously works. He just made a little tweak to what I'm already doing. Typically what I do is I look for a V1 variation, right? Or a V2 variation, and then I look for momentum signal to follow it, which is the same concept, except his is a lot more simpler because he's only looking for higher highs and lower lows. So he's basically identifying the tops and bottoms and then catching momentum swings in their respective direction. So we'll be looking at that. Hey Guido, how's it going? Morning. Morning Maria, morning Saren, morning Kenny. Morning, Karen. Morning, Christian. Morning, Vince. Morning, everybody. All right, guys. So market is going to open. Actually, market is already open. I didn't realize it opened so quickly. I'm going to go ahead and mark up opening price. We had news price as well. So the thing with Vince's entry as well is I don't think he's using, well, I don't know. We'll see. I didn't really incorporate the red flags into his entries or like what entries he was looking at. So I don't know how important they are, but I mean, we'll still look at them. So looking over here at the calendar for today, guys, there was news at 5:30. It was unemployment claims. It was positive, but not necessarily that huge. Just a lot of unemployment claims. So there's news over here at 5:30. I'm going to mark a 5:30 news. Right there. And then we got news coming up at, I believe, 7:30. Okay, so I think that's all the news for today. 7:30. So that's all I got marked up over here. All right, perfect. All right, guys. So it looks like majority of you guys are here so far. Looks like we're looking for sells today. Overall bias over here for US30 is currently, I mean, pretty much all sells for the most part. Should have NASDAQ as well. NASDAQ's a sell as well. All right, so indices look like they're going down right now for the most part. Here's a clean chart. I'm gonna go ahead and mark up opening price, 8 o'clock, and we'll see where price ends up bouncing around from where it's currently at. I mean, price looks like it might be coming down lower, but we'll see how that plays out. All right, so price is pushing back up right here. All right, so for this right here, I'll probably look at this as an example of like what Vince takes, but the trend right now is currently bearish, so I don't think I'll be looking for any buys right now. We do have a lower low right here. You guys can see from the bottom. If this is followed by a momentum signal, then this will likely be possible entry for the type of momentum scalps that Vince takes. So we'll follow it. I'm trying to incorporate a couple things here. I don't know if I'm doing too much or if it's like something that's even necessary. So I'll just follow it. I probably won't take this one. I like taking trades in the direction of the trend. The trend right now overall is very strong for a sell, so I'm not really looking to take any buys here, but I will mark it up if it comes up as an entry following, how Vince applies his, or actually, so this could be a shift in trend right here. So I will follow it and see where it ends up going. The volatility right now is kind of high, so we might have to use a 2550. I don't know if 1030 would work very well because candle's so big. Yeah. So, all right, guys, if you guys are looking at what I'm identifying over here, I'm basically applying the style of momentum scalps that Vince takes. It's not what we typically take because we typically look for strong trends. But I'm just testing out like the strategy or the way that he applies the entries here, because what he does obviously works very well. He's on the top 10 leaderboard of FTMO for the past like 3, 4, 5 months. Question from Christian, he's asking, so he is counter trend trading? Not exactly. There's no entry here yet, right? Christian, he's identifying trends, but he's only trading on the 1 minute. So he's not really using all the time frames. So he's not counter trend trading. He's still trading in the direction of the trend, but he's only using the 1 minute. He's not using higher time frames. So we'll see. All right. So one thing that I also noticed from like the entries, because I pretty much back tested his, I pulled up random dates. I looked at the strategies, or I looked at the strategy on like random days. There can be a different high low in between it. So for example, over here, there's a lower low. The buy signal have to come up right after. There can't be like a high in between it. So now looking at this here, there's no longer any opportunity for a buy. It's going to be a sell. Let's see, a question from Brian. Brian's asking, does the next momentum bar have to be a sell? Yeah, that's correct. So you can't have two buy signals right after each other. It's got to be a buy, then a sell, then a sell, then a buy. So we have a higher high right here, possible sell entry. That could come up. We don't have a momentum scalp failure right now, so we need a buy signal in order for us to get a momentum scalp failure. There's a momentum scalp failure that came up over here, it looks like, but it's pre-market, so it didn't come up during market time. So we're looking for a possible sell signal here. If there's a sell signal here, this is actually going to be a momentum scalp entry as well, like a regular momentum scalp that we're following. Actually, it won't be because there's no sell signal here on the 10. So Christian, you called a couple entries earlier in the chat. I don't think those were valid because there was no sell signal on the 10-minute time frame. Let's see, a couple profits over here from Kenny. Kenny's currently up 2,530 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. All wins. Solid profits right there. Yeah, great work, Kenny. So I think, yeah, Christian over here called a trade, or he mentioned that there was a momentum scalp variation. I don't think this was a momentum scalp variation because there was no sell signal on the 10-minute time frame. So I don't think this one right here was valid. It was also like really early pre-market too. Some profits here from David. David's currently up 47.10 for the day. Nice work, David. All wins. Solid profit right there. Yeah, I just want to clear that up, Christians, because I don't want you to develop bad habits, taking entries where there's no actual criteria met there. So, I mean, it did play through, but it's not an official entry because there's no sell signal on the 10-minute. All right, so there's no momentum right now. I mean, the next momentum signal that comes up has to be a sell signal. So we'll have to see where this ends up going. A lot of back and forth movement here. So price is currently ranging. There's no other higher highs or lower lows that have come up. There's just this lower low, then this higher high. Looks like price is really just ranging. You guys can see over here on the clean chart, there's no real direction. Price just keeps going back and forth from where it's currently at. Yeah, there's not too much going on here. A lot of back and forth movement. Amber Spa is gone. Good to see you. It's been a while. It's good to see a lot of you older traders here. I know a lot of you guys come and go, from trading or from the community, but it's always good to see you guys back here. I know a lot of people, everyone has the reasons why they have to stop trading for a bit. Sometimes it turns into like a gambling addiction. So it's good to take a break from now and then. But I recommend that you still trade even on a demo account. Like I would never recommend completely stop trading, because when you guys come back, it's like starting brand new again. Trading is like an evolving language. You have to always be practicing, or else if you stop completely, if you go cold turkey on trading, it's going to be like really hard to get back into it, or at least get back into it where you can be consistent. Because what happens with a lot of people is like they'll start trading, they'll do well in the beginning, then they'll do bad and they'll stop. And then when they come back, they try to learn a different strategy. So I think that's the problem with a lot of traders. They can't stick to like one strategy. They can't stick to one trading style. It's like a never ending cycle, right? Like someone will start trading, they'll do well, they'll lose, they'll leave, come back, learn a different trading style. And then every time they lose, they just go through that same cycle. They lose, come back, learn a new trading style. They lose, come back, learn a new trading style. If they would just stick to one trading style, they could master it, right? Kind of like how I trade now. Like I've been scalping live with you guys for about 3 or 5 years now. On these live sessions, and you guys can see, over the years I've gone better and better, because I stick to one trading style and I stick to one session, New York session. So what I recommend, if you guys want to be like a really good trader, you guys should stick to one trading style, stick to one session, and stick to one asset. So for me, I trade US30 or YM during the first hour and a half of New York session, and on the 1 minute time frame. That's like literally all I do every single day. So like for me, I'm like a robot. I'm just hopping into the market, making my profits, and then calling it a day. So if you guys want to get good, I mean, that's what I'd recommend. You guys don't have to trade US30, but find one that you like. If you want to trade US30, trade that. If you want to trade USD/JPY, trade that. If you want to trade NASDAQ, trade that. If you want to trade S&P, trade that. Gold, trade that. But what I recommend is to stay consistent. I think that's the main problem with a lot of people. There's no consistency with the majority of traders out there. All right, so let me adjust this a little bit. No entries for us to take right now. Price isn't really doing too much, just a back and forth movement. What I noticed applying the strategy that Vincent takes is that he typically, when I look at the market, it's applicable all throughout New York sessions. You don't have to apply it only during the first 2 hours. You can technically apply it all throughout the entire New York session. But from my experience, I think you get the best entries during, the first couple hours, because that's when the market's most volatile. So again, right here, possible entry if this comes back below. Basically looking for a sell signal here to close. If we get that sell signal, it's be an entry here for a momentum scalp, and then also momentum scalp in the way of Vince's way of trading it. So if this here closes, I'll be taking it. Hey, Dad, how's it going? Morning. Morning, active. All right, we got 30 seconds left on this candle here. If it closes with the sell signal, I'll take it for a sell. I know it's at opening price, but I'm trying to test out Vincent's style of taking the momentum scalps. This momentum scalp would align with our normal momentum scalp anyways. So it's going to be one of the entries that we're looking to take here. Hey, Jacob, how's it going? Morning. All right, so let's see if I can get into this here. I just noticed that it closed. I'm going to try to put a sell stop there to enter my trade. All right, so I haven't gone into the trade yet, guys, because price is kind of going back and forth. I was trying to put in a sell stop, so I'm not in the position yet. As I mentioned right now, price, I mean, the candle closed. I just noticed that it closed right now. It closed at opening price. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a sell stop here to catch my order. Fill it. See where it's at right now. Man, I'm trying to get on my MT4. This thing keeps like pushing me around. Oh crap. I actually entered it for a 2550 TP stop loss. So I'm still in the position. Fuck. I forgot to change my TP stop loss for my FTMO. So I'm still in it right now, but it got in for 2550 TP stop loss. I thought I had it for 1030. So I'm still in it. I'm thinking if I should pull out or if I should hold on to it. Super. Or actually already hit TP. Hit TP, but it didn't hit my TP. It yeah, I'm still in it. I think the spread's too wide right now. So still in it right now, holding it. It's coming down. It's got to adjust my TP right now where it's currently at. All right, it blasted right through my TP. So it actually hit TP, guys. I don't know if anyone got kicked out of it, but when I entered it, I accidentally had it at 2550 for my TP stop loss because it had that sell stop. It should have hit my TP initially because it looks like it hit TP on this initial candle right here, but I was still in the position. So I was kind of confused what was going on, but I had my TP stop loss set to 2550. And then for this one right here, it ended up filling it. So it filled it real quick when it came down. And then it hit its TP, but my TP was set to 2550 because I had it set from yesterday and I forgot to change it. And then what happened was when it was bouncing around, I just adjusted it and then it ended up went down and hit my TP. So this should have been a 2550 entry to begin with. I just realized that this candle here was like way too big. So I should have just left it, but it's all good. I moved my TP down, my TP a little tighter, and then it spiked down. I locked in 1,770 off this trade here. So let's see. Yeah, Nuwan and Rashida's mentioned that there's no momentum on the 10-minute, but I don't know if you guys joined the room a little later. I entered this position based off Vincent's way of applying it. So if you guys looked at the profits from yesterday, I mentioned I gave a shout out to Vince. So Vince over here in our group, he said back on the top leaderboard. So Vincent over here, he's been on the top 10 FTMO traders for like the past 3 or 5 months, I believe. Like every month he's like top 10 right now. He's number 9 in the world for FTMO. He has a smaller account. So he's like on the $10,000 account. He made 13% last month. So he's been on the top leaderboard. So I asked him, what has he been doing that's different from what we're taking? Because he posts his trades every single day. And I look and he's not technically taking trades in the direction of the trend each time. Sometimes he's taking trades that are opposite, right? So what he told me here is basically all he's doing, and it's really simple. He's looking for higher highs. So like, for example, here you can see there's a higher high and there's a sell momentum. That's the trade that I took right there. I know it's at the opening price. So typically I don't take trades here because it's a red flag, but I took this one here because this is typically what he takes. So what he did here was he takes the sell momentum that follows a higher high, and then vice versa. He'll take a buy momentum if it's at a lower low. So for example, down here, there's a lower low and there's a buy momentum right there. And then he would take that for a long position. He doesn't really trade with the direction of the trend, but for me, and you can see right here, this one also hits TP. So he doesn't trade in the direction of the trend. So I'm trying to incorporate a way of applying these entries. I think what he typically does, or what it seems like he does, is he crosses he takes the entry when it's crossing a pivot, because he can identify that as a reversal in trend, right? So he doesn't necessarily look at the overall trend. He basically he just looks on the 1 minute, looks for lower lows. And then after a lower low, if it's followed by a buy signal, he looks to make sure if it's crossing the pivots for a reversal. Takes that for a quick move. And then that's the same reason I took this one right here. I typically don't take a trade because it's at a red flag opening price. But the reason why I took this is because it was a higher high. There was a sell signal right here. And then for the sell signal right here, it pretty much identified what he was looking for, right? Higher high, sell signal. But this was also with the trend, because the overall trend was bearish. So I took this trade for a momentum scalp. but I took it applying it with the criteria that Vince applies. I know this wouldn't be a normal momentum scalp because we didn't have a sell signal over here, but since I back tested his strategy like a couple days back, a couple weeks back, his strategy actually works really well. So I'm going to try to incorporate that into our entries here. I don't want to call it another momentum scalp variation because we already have a momentum scalp variation, but I mean, we'll have to play around with it. It might be called like a high-low scalp variation or something like that, or a high-low scalp in general, if we want to incorporate this into like an actual strategy. So I'll take a screenshot of my profits, show you guys what I locked in, and then we will and then we will continue on with our analysis for today. So looking at this here, we currently have a sell bias right now. So the next entry that we'll have here would be a momentum scalp failure. So in order for us to get that, we need to get a buy signal here on the 1 minute. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for. I'm going to go and take a screenshot of my profits for the day real quick. I'm just going to take the copier prop. It's just easier for me to do it right now. So a lot of guys here are posting on profits. So nice work, guys. I'll take a look at those shortly. But here are my profits so far. So it's kind of crazy that Vince was able to come up with something so simple. Just momentum scalp or momentum signals that follow higher highs and lower lows. By following that, what he does there, it's pretty interesting because he's just identifying the tops and the bottoms, and he's taking advantage of those inconsistencies. So he uses the higher high and lower low to identify tops and bottoms, and then from there he pretty much capitalizes on it. So I got slippage across my other accounts in my favor. I was only supposed to make, or I don't know if my TP ever changed, because here are my profits. Oh crap, I posted on the wrong page. It's fine. So here are my profits for that one so far. Locked in 1,770 off my FTMO number 1, 2,520 off my FTMO number 2, and 2,100 across all my MFF accounts right here. So my TP was initially set to 2550 because I forgot to change it. And then I tried to adjust it. I don't know if it actually adjusted, but this is the entry that I took right there. I mean, either way, if you took the 1030 or the 2550, either one would have hit because it went straight to TP. Oops. Fix that. All right, so while we're waiting for the buy signal to come up over here, I mean, we don't have much to look at the moment. Let me go ahead and just take a screenshot of all of my individual profits, and then from there we will move on with our analysis. We're kind of just waiting for, okay, so there's a buy signal right there. This is technically, or it looks like it's possibly going to be a momentum scalp failure. The problem with this entry over here, guys, is that there's no sell signal here on the 10. So even though we get a momentum scalp failure, we're not going to be able to take a momentum scalp variation or a momentum scalp just yet, not a regular momentum scalp, because it doesn't meet our criteria. So what I'm going to do here as we wait, I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of my individual accounts. And then we will go from there. All right, so there's another entry right here. I didn't take it. This is another one. I totally missed that. I should have taken it. I didn't see the buy signal come right there. So this isn't a regular momentum scalp entry, guys, that we take, but this is one that Vince would take. So looking at this again, I totally missed it. It happened so fast. There was a lower low right here. there was a buy signal right here and it crossed past the pivots. So this would actually be a buy entry that, Vince would have taken using his criteria. It blasted right through the TP too. It's just the movement happened like way too fast. So I couldn't take it. Not going to hop into it late. It's all good. Let's wait for the next one. But you guys can see how simple this is, right? He's just looking for lower lows. I probably would have to turn off the volume here. He's just looking for lower lows followed by a momentum signal, or a higher high followed by a momentum signal. And that's pretty much it. Another full TP right there if you were to take it for a 10-30 split. And he's only going for like 100 pips, so it's like super quick. Getting in and out of those trades. So I missed that trade, unfortunately, but it's all, I probably wouldn't have taken it because it's against the trend. I typically want to go, in the direction of the trend. I don't want to be taking anything too risky here. I guess I want to stick to the game plan, but I just want to incorporate his entries on top of there as well. So I guess for that specific entry, I'll just call it a high-low momentum scalp, because we don't have a strategy called a high-low momentum scalp yet, just so we don't have a confusion of the other entries that we're taking. Because if we can't call a momentum scalp variation, because we already have that, let's call a high-low momentum scalp. All right, so let me post up my individual profits right here. We'll go over everyone else's profits as well. A lot of you guys have profit to post from that last trade. And there we go, as price pushes up higher. All right, so let me just give a little update over here. We'll just call it it does, right, Jacob? Yeah, no, it really does. Jacob said Vince's strategy sounds like an EA opportunity. No, it does. That's like running. I mean, if he's top 10 FTMO every single month, he's onto something, right? That's why I figured we got to hop onto like whatever he's doing, because he's using our indicators here. So, I mean, great work to Vince, and like props to Vince for sharing his strategy, because typically a lot of people don't like to share their strategies. He just simplified what we're already doing, and it works very well. If you guys want to test it, so if you guys have the indicators, I want you guys to test it, because you guys are gonna be so amazed. Like when I saw this, when I played it out and I tested it, I was like freaking mind blown. Like I was like sitting on my desk for like 3 or 4 hours, going back every single day, looking at every entry during New York session, and there was like no losses. It's crazy. There's maybe like 1 or 2 losses, and those losses only came up because it was against the trend. So that's why I incorporated the trend. But if that's the case where you're only having like 1 or 2 losses like in a whole month, and everything else is straight wins, and I'll go and take those losses, because then I'll be able to take a lot more entries. Like for example, right here, I wouldn't have taken this entry here because it was against the trend. But if we would have taken it, it still would have played out perfectly, right? You could use the 25.50 here as well, and you could have made big profits off that. So yeah, no, it's crazy. But yeah, guys, if you guys want to test it, I recommend testing it. Go back from 6:30 a.m. until like 12 p.m. So basically all of New York session. Look for lower lows and look for momentum signals that cross the pivots. As long as it's crossing and it's identifying a shift in trend, that's fine. And if you guys look at these entries, it's going to blow your mind, because it freaking blew my mind. I haven't felt like that about a strategy in a long time, because this strategy, it's so simple, but it's so accurate. I went back literally the entire month of March, the entire month of February, and then I started pulling up random dates to see if it worked well during all conditions. And the way that I tested it, I didn't even use the red flag. So I didn't use news, I didn't use opening price, I didn't use sessions, and it still hit. It literally hit every trade. So I mean, it's a crazy strategy. It's simple, but but like super accurate. It's crazy because there's not too many requirements. It's like higher highs and lower lows using a momentum scalp. It's basically a momentum scalp, but he's just using a higher high as a confluence. So yeah, try it out. So we have a higher high right here, guys. If we get another sell signal right here, I'll go and take that entry. Again, like I did right here. I typically don't take any entries that are at these red flags, but I don't know, my back testing was just like, it was an eye opener because I was like, man, I didn't realize that like there was a way to get around these red flags because it would get so annoying, right? Like sometimes you guys would be trading with me and there'd be so many entries, but they're at red flags. It's like news price, opening price, sessions, etc. But then I tested Vince's way of applying it and like it would still work every time. I don't know if Vince is even on here right now. Let me check if Vince messaged me. So Vince might not even be on here right now. I think he's getting his payout. So he's probably not even trading right now. But Vince has been posting me his profits every single day. He just has straight wins every single day. That's how he got on the top 10 leaderboard. And he's been top 10 for like the past couple of months now. So, and it's crazy because Vince just got the indicators again. Like before he was trading on his own, he just got the indicators on January 17th. So January 17th, he got the indicators again. And every day he's had no losses. He hasn't had a loss in like 3 months. So he's been top 10 FTMO trader for like 3 months now, or even more, because he just got the indicators. You know, so it just shows you guys like the power of these indicators. You don't have to follow my strategy specifically. You can make small little changes to them. That's basically what Vince did. He made a little tweak to it. And that's crazy. Now we have a strategy here that pretty much hits almost every time. Let me scroll up real quick. Mention what you guys are discussing, or actually, let me look at everyone's profits. So I haven't even looked at everyone's profits yet. So let's just take a look at that real quick. There's no entries for us to take right now. Possibly looking for a sell signal here, but we don't have it yet. So I'll be looking for that sell signal here to cross below the pivots, but if you don't get that, then it's fine. So here are my accounts. So here's my FTMO number 1, locked in a full TP with a green strip, total profit of 1,770. This is my first FTMO account. Here's my second FTMO account. If you guys are not aware, I split up my 400K account because I just didn't feel comfortable taking big lot sizes on that account. So I just split them back into 2 separate 200Ks. I got my last payout last week and then I split them back up, which is perfectly fine because now I'm taking more trades. So right here, this is my FTMO number 2, locked in 2,520. Here's my MFF number 1, 2,100. MFF number 2, 2,100. And then my MFF number 3, 2,100. So these are all my MFFs and then my FTMOs. Possible entry right here, guys, if it closes. Still want to miss the entry, so I'm just looking at it right here. It's at opening price. So, you know, as you guys know, I don't like taking trades around here, but I'm going to be testing out the strategy that Vince has pretty much introduced to us. Go for 100 pips. It's got a few seconds left on it. It's got to close though. So it didn't close right there. There's no entry for, okay, so this is going to be a bit of an issue. So this is one thing. So we have a higher high right here. There can't be a high low after it. So there can't be anything in between. There has to be a higher high, then a momentum signal. If this here has the high low, then we can't take the entry. So we'll see if it pushes down lower. If it pushes down lower and eliminates, because it's the candle right after it, if it eliminates this high low and we have the sell signal right here, we can still possibly take it. But right now, we just can't take it at the moment because we have this high low right here. So anyways, let me go down the list real quick. So those are my profits. Oh, there you go. And try it out your scalp. So Vince just woke up. He's on the YouTube. I'll send him the Zoom link. All right, so there's one entry right here, guys. This is not an entry because I mentioned right here there's a high low in between, so you can't take that entry right there. So it's fine. I'm skipping this one, obviously. So there has to be a higher high and followed by momentum, and then vice versa, lower low followed by momentum. but there can be a high low in between it. So I'm not looking to all right, so let me just finish looking at everyone's profits real quick because we keep getting sidetracked. So all right, let me just copy these profits over real quick to the other page. To my profits right here. Let's save them. We got Maddie over here, total profit of 605 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. So solid profits right there. Yeah, solid right there, Maddie. Scrolling up real quick, some profits over here from Sisuk, I believe. Yeah, Sisuk over here locked in 3,450. Took that sell earlier with us, all full TPs. Nice work, Sisuk. Here's Sisuk's other account, 1,850, all wins as well. Solid profit right there. We have Sisuk's other account, 2,450, all wins here. And then his fourth account, 4,850. So solid work right there. The crazy thing with Sisuk is that he doesn't use a copier. He just takes these trades manually. So I don't know how he goes back and forth so quickly. Natasha over here, total profit of 407, all wins. Solid work, Natasha. So looking back at like Vince's way of applying it, guys, I don't think I just missed it. I don't know what happened right here. I thought there was a high low right here, but whatever, I missed the sell entry. So this is the sell entry that we were looking for. I wasn't going to take it because there was a high low right there, but it still played out. So I don't know if anyone caught it, but I didn't take it. I missed it. Let me go down lower. Patricia over here, total profit of 2,040 off her first account. Nice work right here. Patricia, all wins. And then here's Patricia's second account, total profit of 3,820, all wins as well. Great work, Patricia. We have MC over here, total profit of 2,020, same trade that we took earlier for that sell. Solid work right there. Zach over here, total profit of 2,734 for the day. Nice work, Zach. All right, guys, so great profits across everybody here. If you guys have more profits to post up, go ahead and post them up. These are pretty much all people in our group right here who profited this morning. Christian over here as well, total profit of 2,934. Great work, Christian. All wins. We got Nelly over here, total profit of 4,880. Great work, Nelly. All wins right there as well. Guys, you guys are killing it. So nice work, guys. Yeah, if there's any more profits that you guys have, feel free to post them up, and then I will add them to the list to be posted on our page later today. Otherwise, we will continue on with this live session. So let me go ahead and take a look to see if there's anything else for us to look at. Deswell over here, some more profits. Deswell total profit of 7,184, all wins right here. Nice work, Deswell. CERN over here, total profit of 320, all wins as well. All right, guys, so it looks like a lot of you guys here are taking trades just off my analysis as well. So like, some of you guys took that sell right there. I missed it. It's all good. I'm just waiting for the next one. There's no other entries that we can take right now because there's no sell signal here on the 5 and 10. So like the only entries that I'm looking for right now are Vince's momentum scalps, which we're going to be calling high level momentum scalps. So we don't have any other entries here because we need a sell signal across the board. We can't catch a momentum scalp variation, or a momentum scalp failure. Technically, we could look for a momentum scalp failure. There'd be a buy signal that would have to come up here, and that would be a momentum scalp failure. But for the momentum scalp and momentum scalp variation, we can't take that because we don't have a sell signal here on the 10 and 5, right? So with that said, there's only two entries that we can possibly look for here. It's a momentum scalp and a high-low momentum scalp, which is going to be a higher high with a momentum signal or a lower low with a momentum signal that's crossing the pivots. So that's all we're waiting for right now. And, again, it's just a game of patience. Here's Sisu again with some more profits on his other account, total profit of 3,100 for the day. So solid work right there. Sisu actually caught that sell that we missed. So this one right here that I missed, Sisu caught it. Here's his markup. He actually took it as a high-low scalp, it looks like. So solid work right there. Looks like Biden is speaking right now as well. So probably a ton to be careful in the market. Thanks, Kenny, for the link here. says live Biden Treasury Secretary to face Senate after SVB collapse. All right, so we got a lot of stuff going on today. We'll see what we can identify here. All right, so let me scroll down a little bit. Here are Martha's profits, total profit on Martha by 2,920. Great work, Martha. Yeah, so you guys killed it. It looks like you guys all took that same entry with me earlier right here. I made it pretty clear I was going to take the entry, came through, went straight to TP, and then, continued on. So we'll see where it goes. Let's see, question from Rashida. She's asking, so at every momentum course, you're entering for 100 pips? I mean, typically I am, because that's basically what I've been using the testing for Vince's high-low momentum scalp. But if the volatility is high, then I'll probably take it for 250. So, I mean, obviously you have to play it by ear, depending on how the market conditions are moving. Like, for example, right here, this one would have been okay for 100 pips because it's a smaller move, right? The volatility was, or it could have been for 25.50 actually. Because you just you want to cover the higher. Sometimes it's going to be super far out, sometimes it's not. So this would be actually good for a 25.50. This one over here actually would have been perfect for 25.50 because the candles were so big. So I went for 100 pips here, but I should have went for 25.50. I don't know if I was able to adjust my TP stop loss because my profits, as you guys can see, were a lot higher. So maybe I wasn't able to shift it to 100 pips because I tried to, but I think it was too late. It already hit my TP for 2,500. Some more profits over here from Larishna. Total profit of 257 for the day. Great work, Larishna. All right, no entries for us right now. We're kind of just looking for a buy signal to come up here. I'm not going to be taking it for a high-low momentum scalp unless it pushes pretty high. It's going to have to push up past the pivots. And it'll be like a correction back to opening price. Let me scroll down further. Sam's asking, does it work in all market conditions? I believe so. I didn't use any bias for looking for entries, Sam. So I pretty much went back all of March, all of February, and I didn't take market conditions into consideration. I just looked for whatever entries I could find because most of the time I was looking for 100 pips. So it's not really a big move. It's easy to just catch really, really quickly, whether it's been ranging or consolidating. It just, it would eventually hit. Sometimes it would take longer than others, but for the most part, it would push to profit target at some point. Sometimes it's 5 minutes to hit, sometimes 10 minutes. But for the most part, it hit right away. Tyler's asking, so opposite of for sales or only buys. So you know your direction of the trade, Tyler, depending on the higher high. So if you have a higher high, you're looking for a sell. If you're looking for a lower low, you're looking for a buy. The reason for that is because you're identifying the tops and bottoms, right? So for example, you get a higher high, that's a top. So you find a top there, sell momentum, take that for a sell. And then vice versa, you find a bottom here with a lower low, buy signal, and it pushes up from there. But you have to make sure that it's crossing pivots because you want to make sure that you're going in the direction of the trend, right? So for example, over here, you have a lower low, trend is bearish, but you have price breaking, closing past the pivot. So this is going to indicate that price is likely to either retrace up to some extent or even reverse. So you just want to make sure that you have those three criteria kind of lined up: higher high, lower low, momentum, and then breaking, closing past pivots, because that's going to indicate that price is shifting in that direction. Maria's asking, what if this verified with high volume? Then at that point, I think you're kind of doing too much, Maria. So don't add anything different to it. What the requirements that we have already, keep it as is. Don't make it too complicated. You start to incorporate trend meter, you incorporate volume, you incorporate all this extra stuff. It's just going to mess up the strategy. I've already tested it months back, so don't try to add anything else to it as of now. If there's issues that run in, then yeah, we could add more stuff to it. But at the moment, I think it's fine as is. So I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just looking for higher highs, lower lows, momentum, and then the pivots, of course. I might incorporate trend, but at the moment, trend isn't necessarily a huge factor because I did a lot of testing actually, and there was only 2 or 3 losses, and they were only because of the trend. So the thing is, I'd rather take more entries. I mean, there should be some sort of trend. That's why you're using the pivots here. So you're just not taking every entry. For example, right here, right, we have a lower low and there's a buy signal right here. If it doesn't cross the pivots, it's probably not going to be a good entry to take because there's no confirmation of price pushing back up higher. So if we get a buy signal right here, I mean, I personally wouldn't take it because it's too low. The trend here is way too strong for a sell, so I wouldn't take it. But if price was up here and we got that buy signal, then I probably would take it because it's going to indicate that price is shifting. So just keep the requirements as simple as possible. If you guys want to test it, don't really add anything to it. You can add trend. So I think the only thing that you probably want to add is the trend, but you don't want to add volume to it. That's like unnecessary, at least for now, until we determine, it's like something that's required. Just Van Harway, he's talking about calling it the Vindicator. Vindicator. Maddie said caught it on open, no high low, partially painted. Smart profits here from Martha. Total profit of 2,920, solid. Okay, perfect. So here are Vincent's red flags. So Vincent just had some input. Thanks, Vince, for putting this up there. Let me just add this to my list too, because I want to make sure I'm aware. All right, so for Vince's red flags over here, he said, don't trade before news 5 minutes. Pivots must be in place, downtrend or uptrend. Momentum candle can't close through 3 pivots. So just basically anything below 3. Anyone can take them how they want, but that's just how I do it for my strategy. So I'd follow the way that Vince is doing it. So like what Vince just mentioned over here was he doesn't trade before news. That's smart. I obviously wouldn't trade before news either. And then he says that pivots must be in place. So like he uses the pivots to identify the trend. So I guess he does use the trend. So that's a good thing. Because, Vincent isn't taking like 20 trades a day. He's taking like 1 or 2 and he's hitting all full TPs. So smart work right there as well. So, all right. So looking at the criteria here, I guess I can put a strategy together. I mean, if you guys want to test this out, I'll put a strategy together right here. Shout out to Vince here for hooking us up with this. We're just going to call this the high-low. 1 minute high-low momentum scalp strategy. Or it's called high-low momentum scalp. I don't have to make it complicated. Identify higher high or lower low. Identify valid momentum signal. Three, identify trend using pivots. And lastly, that's it. Enter on the close of candle. 5 use base conditions. And I think that's it. And then no trades, 5 minutes, then 5 minutes of news. All right, perfect. So yeah, so Vince's strategy right here. I'm gonna save this. All right, so if you guys want to test this out, go ahead and test it out. Vince, your strategy is crazy. I mean, I know you joined the chat late, but as soon as you told me what you were doing, I went back and I tested like literally all the New York sessions of March, February, and some of January, and they all hit. So crazy thing that you came up with here. It's super simple. It's kind of it's similar to like what we're applying for the regular momentum scalp entry. However, for this here, it's just a lot more simpler because you're not really using any other time frames. He's just trading directly off the one. So thanks, Vince, for that right there. Yeah, so Vincent said no trend meter and all that. Yeah, Vincent said, honestly, not even sure how he found the strategy, just fell into his lap. Yeah, because your strategy is very similar to what we're doing. Like normally, like when we use the momentum scalp, we're using 3 time frames. But the easy thing about this is that Vince is only on the 1 minute. So you don't have to go back and flip through. So like sometimes when you don't have entries for these here, we can just look at like what Vince is applying. Like it's like fine as is. So Yeah, no, great work, Vince. Yeah, there was an entry right here that came up, guys. I totally missed it, but it's too late for me to make entry. I was gonna make a late entry here, but it already hit TP, so I'm not gonna FOMO into this move here. This is actually a regular momentum scalp type entry. It happened really quickly. There is a sell signal here on the 5 and 10. So looking over here across the board, we have a sell bias. Looking over here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, and 2 hour timeframes, it's a sell bias across the board because price is below the pivots, trend meters red, and the pivots are angling up, or sorry, pivots are angling down. With that said, any sell entry here would be considered a momentum scalp entry. So there's a momentum scalp entry that came up right there, but it already went to TP. So once it hits TP like that, guys, don't get FOMO. Just sit out of it, wait for the next one to come up. So yeah, David said, Sean, do you think on your next mentoring session, would you explain Vince's strategy? Yeah, I'll do that more in detail. I'm like super excited to apply it. So like what I'm going to do from now until next Monday is I'm going to go and back test because nothing feels better than back testing a new strategy and seeing that it hits TP almost every time. That's like the best feeling, because then now that you come on the live session or you need to trade live, you're not really scared to take the entry because you know that it hits. So yeah, I'll go over that once we once we have that. So all right, looking at this over here, guys, we have price crossing above. As I mentioned, I'm using trend over here, so I'm not really looking to take a buy. So I'm pretty much looking for sells here. So I'm looking for price to push up, establish a higher high, and then come right back down. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to cross one of the pivots. I think one of the criteria here that I'm looking for as well is I'm looking for price to pull up and then cross one of the pivots. That's going to be one of the things here too. So I'll update this a little bit. Low indicator. Here. I'm gonna add one more requirement here. Confirm price closes past pivot. I just added one more criteria there. So yeah, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, or if you guys want to rewatch this live session later today, you guys can. But I'll be testing it. The good thing about this strategy is that this is going to provide us more entries, because I know lately we haven't had too many entries since it's been hard to identify an overall trend. For this one here, we're just using the 1 minute. So it's pretty much simple. So if you guys want to write down the requirements, go ahead and write them down. They're up here right now. And yeah, no, definitely, Vincent, for sure. Yeah, I'll test it a little bit, Vincent. So I'll see if I have any questions, because I think it's better if I have questions so we can like kind of go over it together, because I can probably help you make it better as well. This is another thing that I can help you guys with. If you guys have a strategy that you guys like to apply using the indicators, and you guys need help making it better, just let me know, and I can test it myself, and then I can help you guys make it better. Because I created these indicators for a reason. So like I know like different things that you guys can do to make things better. So yeah, so this entry right here is one that Vincent is watching. So this is one here that I was mentioning before, guys. I mean, I personally wouldn't like to take it because the trend here isn't that strong. But as I mentioned before, there's a lower low here, buy signal. It's crossing above the pivots. This could be a shift in trend. So I think the key thing here is to turn off the momentum, turn off the trend meter. The trend meter is kind of what throws me off a little bit, because yeah, so this is one that Vince would have taken. And it would have hit your TP right there, Vince. So I think what I might need to do is I might just need to turn off the trend meter, because the trend meter throws me off. Right here, it's red. So I'm not really looking to take any entries here. But if I was to just look at this like how it normally looks, it looks like, trend could be shifting to the upside. So like Vince mentioned right here, look at this buy. This buy right here would be an entry that Vince would have taken, I guess, because it looks like we had a lower low, buy signal, trend was starting to shift to the upside, and then it would be the entry right there. Maddie's asking, wouldn't it need to close above level 3? No, I don't think so. So there's no criteria for that. So what I mentioned last time, like last night, Maddie, when I was telling you guys, we were doing it simple, like when we were just doing this, because I added the trend later, but to put simply here, you're just looking for price to break and close past the pivots. There's no like overall trend that you're looking for here. Yeah, so Vincent said for his entries, they do, Maddie. So yeah, for this here, depending on if you want to incorporate the trend or not, that's why I'm like saying, I'm not sure if we're going to incorporate the trend or not yet. I have to test it further. Because the thing is, if we apply this strategy with the trend, I think what you should try it with, Maddie, first is do it without the trend. So do it without the trend first. So basically when you're testing it, don't use requirement 3. Just confirm breaking close past the pivots. Because so what we should do is we create a spreadsheet, Maddie. And then I think this should be your assignment for this week. I know we haven't met in a while, but this should probably be your assignment. Like basically create a spreadsheet, and then we'll test all of the entries. We'll basically document all the entries from now and as far back as we can. And we'll see how many losses come up without using the trend. Because if we have like, say we have like a 90% win rate without the trend, I'll still take the trades because, you know, 90% win rate is going to be worth it. So we'll do that. If the win rate's super high without the trend, we'll just apply it without the trend. We'll take this requirement off. But if the win rate is too low, then we'll have to incorporate the trend. Because this entry here would have been perfect, right? We had a lower low. There's a buy signal right here, crossed above the pivots. It didn't actually have a bullish trend, but you can see that price is now shifting up. So this could be a possible setup. We could probably swap this out with the momentum scalp failure, since I don't even like taking the momentum scalp failure. But we'll see. All right, we have a higher high right here, guys. So with the higher high coming up right here, we can possibly look for a sell. We have a higher high, sell momentum come up after it, and we could possibly look for a sell there. There is news right here. So, you know, following Vincent's criteria, he doesn't take entries 5 minutes before news. News is coming up in 3 minutes, so we wouldn't be looking for any entries right here. So if you guys want to test out the strategy, just write down the criteria right here. Once you write down the criteria, go ahead and test the strategy. Use the rewind feature and then go back as far as you can. Lyric's asking how far can you back test on the 1 minute? I think maybe like 2 to 3 months, maybe 5 months. I haven't really back tested that far on YM on this data set, so I don't know how far you can go back. You can probably go back farther on this data set, but on regular US30, I think you can only go back like 3 months. So maybe 3 to 5 months, depending on the data that you're using. All right. Yeah, I got you, Maddie. Here, I'll post it in the premium, guys. So if you guys are in the premium, you guys have access to the indicators. Posted it up right there. If you guys want to test it out. There you go, Maddie. All right, so we'll keep looking for entries here. So let's see, question, or let's see. Vince said if you incorporate your strategy with Vince's approach and add the EA criteria, you can code the EA to do exactly what Vince is doing. Yeah, no, it's possible. I'll probably have my brother work on it, Jacob. So I'll send the info to my brother. He could code it for me because he does a coding for us. So he has the code for like the momentum indicator and all that stuff. So we'll yeah, I'll see what we can put together. The cool thing with this too, I don't know if my brother's on here right now. Justin, are you here? My brother's not here right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my brother create a backtesting script so I can pretty much run through all the data here, and then we can just run it through and see what the percentage it looks like. I think that'll be better because we'll be able to pretty much pinpoint, you know, how accurate it is. So I'll probably do that. Thanks, Jacob. I'll let you know if we need help with MQL, because I'm not sure how accurate he is with it, but I think, I think it's gonna be better to back test it first, because we first want to see the win rate long term. We don't want to like make an EA and then it's not like for sure yet. So we'll have to take a look. Let's see. Guido's asking how much are the indicators. Indicators are the same. Price hasn't changed. So if you guys want the indicators, just go on the website, go to kodikaitrades.com, click on Kodi Kai Trading Strategies right here, and you can get access to the indicators. But yeah, if you guys want to test this, I mean, you guys are gonna be pretty mind blown. Like I was like tripping out yesterday. I was like, damn, this is crazy. Because it's like there's so many entries that come up. There's like 1 or 2 entries that would come up maybe between 6:30 and 8. But then if you go from like 6:30 until noon, there's like 5 or 10 entries that come up. So like technically I can just sit at the chart and then take all these entries if I really wanted to. But yeah, Guido, the pricing never changed. I just left it as is. It's been the same for like a couple of years now. The thing with me, guys, is that I'm not necessarily openly advertising my strategies or indicators anymore. I want to focus on people who are already within the group. If you guys are new here and you guys want access to it, you guys can still get access. But I'm not telling everybody like, hey, check out this website and download my indicators, right? Because I think the less people who use my indicators, the better, because the markets, we're going to stay under the radar. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to make majority of my profits from pretty much trading. I don't really like to sell stuff. I don't want to be like a trading guru, right? Like a lot of people, like a lot of trading gurus out there get like bad reps because they feel like they make most of their profits from like selling something. For me personally, I like to trade. So like I like to make most of my profits from actual trading versus selling something. So I don't really like, you guys have known me for a while. I'm not really selling. Like I don't like selling stuff to anybody. I like trading. So if you guys like to trade, you guys found the perfect group, and I'm not really here to sell you guys anything. Like I want to stay under the radar with my trading. So I trade with you guys here live, but I'm not necessarily pushing you guys to sign up to anything. Unless it's for the strategies, because the strategies are completely free. You don't have to pay for this stuff. Like you guys can watch all my strategy videos completely free. Let me see what else I'm looking at over here. So let me see if there's anything else over here. Let's see, Gary's asking question, Sean, which pivot should it cross? It just needs to cross any of the pivots, Gary. So like, for example, for this buy right here, it could be pretty much any pivot. Like right here, just cross, the bottom 2, that's fine. It doesn't have to be like all 3 or all 4. It just needs to cross any of them. Let's see, Merciful is asking Jacob, are you with K2? So Jacob's been with us like on and off for a while, because Jacob, he had his things, he had a child, and he's been busy with his own stuff. But he's been with like hanging out with us for a while now. So yeah, Merciful is like one of our old members, Jacob. He's come and go like over the years, but he's been with us for a while. So you're a new face, so he's probably curious if you've been part of the group. Let's see. Okay, question over here from Patrick. Patrick's asking, the momentum signal before the last long was invalid for Vince strat, Sean. So let me check real quick. Short momentum signal before the last long. This one right here, right? So this one right here wouldn't be an entry, Patrick, because there is no higher high, there's no higher high. So like applying Vince's strategy for this right here, it has to be a higher high. So you have to have a higher high like this one right here, and then it would be followed by a sell momentum. So this right here, there's a sell momentum, but there's no higher high. So there wouldn't be an entry for that one there. Scrolling down. Yeah, Vincent said if he was super confident, he would have taken the other entry. Let's see, Maddie's asking when testing. So with testing, Maddie, don't incorporate the session's news or opening price. Just like test it as normal. And then when we have a loss, we'll take a note of it. So like if there's a loss, we'll note if it happened like during news or something like that. So we'll do like our old testing, just pretty much do a raw test where we just apply the strategy. And then we'll put a note whether there was like a loss because of sessions, news, or opening price. But I want to just keep it like pretty raw as possible, because I want to see what the win rate looks like without those criteria. And then if we need to incorporate them, then we'll incorporate them. But I think for now, we'll just do a raw data test, and then we'll just see what the win rate looks like. And then test it from like 6:30 until noon, and I'll help you with it. So if you want to go like for a specific one, like if you want to do all of like February, you can do all of February, or just go as far back as possible, right? Because the farther we go back, the more data we can pull. So if you can go back to like January or December, great. And I'll do like February, and we'll have other people do like, we'll have like CT or somebody do like March, or I can do March. Yeah. I mean, this is a pretty, it's, if this is the case where like this strategy like hits super often, I mean, we can just focus on just one strategy, and it'll be a lot easier. So guys, just a heads up, there's no entries for us right now. Just want to make sure that you guys are not like confused what's going on here on this live session. There's no entries right now. We currently have a sell bias right now, but there's no entries for us to take. There was just news that came up not too long ago, about 5 minutes ago, and price is pushing up right now. Overall bias right here is currently bearish. So I'm not necessarily looking for any buys at the moment. I'm looking for price to come back down. But yeah, if you guys can see over here, there's not really anything for us to take. If you look over here on the higher time frames, everything is pretty much bearish right now. 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 10 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. So pretty much everything except the 1 minute here is bearish. You can see prices below the pivots, trend meters red, pivots are angling down, obviously looking for a sell here, but there's nothing for us to take here at the moment. So don't worry guys, you guys are not missing out on anything. There's just no entries for us to take right now. And then me and Maddie are just kind of discussing on the side of what kind of testing I want him to do so that he can test the strategy. The strategy works well, then, I mean, this might be one of the main strategies we apply here at the live because it's so simple. All right, let me see if there's anything else over here. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Yeah, Sisuk said, Sean, all we're missing is our coughing friend. Wishing him well and hope he's crushing the markets as well. I'm gonna send that to Aaron. You know, I met Aaron in person like not that long ago. It's crazy. The first time I met Aaron, if you guys remember Aaron from like back then, Aaron used to help me run K2 like back in the day when he first started. I just messaged Aaron right now. Yeah, I've been telling him to get back on these live sessions, but he's doing his own thing, which is all good. Yeah, Aaron. DCDO Vincent, what's your favorite liquor? If this works all the time, I'm sending you a nice bottle. I know, right? We're gonna have to dub the strategy Vince. Yeah, no, it's awesome. CJ said, yeah, Sean, I agree. I've been following you for almost 3 years, and you prefer to teach us to trade the right way, as well as supply the tools, which is why your student success rate is so high. Yeah, I know that's the key, guys. Like for me here personally, I like to like make sure that everybody here is good, right? Like I can show you guys all my profits like every single day, but I feel like that's like, it's not really that impressive, right? Because obviously I'm going to be trading well. You guys see me trade live every day and I'm always winning. So obviously my profits are going to be good. I think the real key with our community here that a lot of people like is that, you know, we're like a legit community. We actually help each other. Like Vince didn't have to share the strategy with us, but he was graceful enough to share with us. You know, Vince could have just kept his strategy to himself because he's been like top 10 on FTMO for months now. But he shared it with us. So now we're going to help him master it. And then if we get better and better at this strategy, you know, we all win. So definitely. Yeah. And I'm glad a lot of you guys are still here. You know, I didn't know how this group was going to run after the first couple of years because there was so many different trading groups around, but a lot of you guys who stuck around are all super profitable now. So glad to see that. And, you know, excited for a lot of the new faces here who are in the group. Because a lot of times this is like the game changer for a lot of people. Anyways, there's no entries for us to take right now, guys. 5 and 10 is currently still below. We're still looking for sells here, but there's no confirmation of price coming back down. We have the higher high right here. So what I'd possibly be looking for at this moment, guys, is I'm looking for a sell signal to come down. So what I'm looking for at this point is we have a higher high. I would be looking for price to push down quite a bit, breaking close past the pivots over here. And then from this point, I'll be looking to take that sell back to the downside. If possible. I mean, I don't know if this is actually going to come down, but if this is the case, then this would be key. So we'll see where this ends up. Over here, let's see. Yeah, so Zach said Vince's strategy is basically what I've been doing. Instead of the momentum indicator, I make sure it's a strong candle, like a high-low scalp, but I like the confluence of waiting for a momentum candle and waiting for a higher high and lower low. I have a lot of free time. You want me to do March? Yeah, if you want to do March, you can do March, Zach. Whoever wants to backtest, you guys are more than welcome to backtest. I can create a spreadsheet for you guys to use. I think this will be helpful because if you guys want to really learn these strategies here, you guys can, or if you guys want to like master it, I think backtesting is going to help you guys the most. So if you guys want to do your own backtesting, I could either create a spreadsheet or you guys can create a spreadsheet and then just backtest. And then we'll put all the data together and we'll see how accurate it is. If this strategy is really good, so this is the same strategy that Vince is using too, just a little different. I mean, not Vince, Zach. So Zach's been using something very similar and you can see Zach's been winning every single day as well. So Zach here made 2,734 today. So here's his profits for the past 3 days, 6,000 yesterday, 2,000 today, 3,000 the day before that, 5,000 the day before that. And this is FTMO. You can see Zach here straight full like green days every single day, right? Every day he's having green days. So yeah, I mean, whoever wants to have any input and backtest the strategy or help, all the help matters because it's gonna help you and it's also gonna help us because we're gonna be able to identify what changes need to be made and things that we can do to improve. But yeah, if you guys want to backtest, I think it's best to backtest from like 6:30 to 12, basically New York session every day, and then we'll see where the losses come up. Like if the losses come up like at a certain time period, then you guys can understand, okay, maybe they don't trade around like 8 to 9 or from like 9 to 10. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be beneficial for everybody. Yeah, so this thing's pushing up pretty high right here. I don't know if there's anything going on aside from, well, this is going on right now, actually. So Biden's Treasury Secretary is currently facing the Senate discussing the SVB collapse. So we do have some background news happening right now. Let me check the calendar to see if there's anything else here for me to look at. Yeah, I just don't see anything else for today. But I think the main thing that's really pushing price is this right here. The Senate's discussing the bank collapse. And there's going to be more bank collapses happening too. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, Dejan said Biden's doing damage control. I know, right, Maddie? No, he is. Yeah, Maddie said Vincent Strat hits on the 5-minute as well. Yeah, if you guys want to test it on different time frames, you guys can test it as well. For me personally, I've only tested it on the 1 minute, so that's all I really know. But if you guys want to test it on the 5-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, whatever time frames you guys want, you guys are more than welcome. I'll try to put together a spreadsheet and then I'll post it in the group and you guys can just copy it. And then from there, you guys can just input the information. And then, at some point, me and the mentor will get together and then we'll just put it together and see if there's anything that needs to be changed. So yeah, so Vincent said this is an example of a buy he would take. Yeah, so Vincent kind of does things a little differently as well. Here's another way of him applying it. He saw the lower low, signal closed below the pivots, and you can see right here that a bullish momentum closed and it was crossing over the pivots. And then the bullish candle crossed over the pivots right here. So the way that Vincent does it sometimes is if he's not comfortable about taking it on the momentum, he waits for it to break and close past the pivots and he makes his entry a little later. So this is another way of applying it. Yeah, this is just another way. It's like a later entry. So solid work right there too, Vince. And then Vince has another one right here as well. So he said he saw the higher high right here. bearish momentum signal, closed above the pivots. And then he waited for it to basically close below the pivots right here. And that's where he made his entry. So like there's different, like Vincent has like different ways of applying it, but I mean, it seems like a lot of them work. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? Yeah, Glenn said, hey, Shen, good morning. I just got on the live. Is there any official trades for today? Yeah, we all took trades earlier this morning. Glenn, so you came in, well, this trade came a lot earlier. So you just got here a little late. It came in around 7 o'clock. So about like 44 minutes ago, we took this sell over here. And that's a profit that we made earlier. I made about 1,700 on my FTMO, 2,500 off my other FTMO, 2,100 across all my MFFs. And a lot of people here posted some profits as well. So yeah, I will put together a spreadsheet and you guys can input the data if you guys want to. Scroll down a little bit. I'll do that after this live session. So let's see, we got CSUK over here, total profit of 6,150 off this account. Nice work, CSUK. And then CSUK's second account over here locked in a total profit of 3,750, all wins. All right, great work, guys. Aaron just messaged me, he said, hey, should I bring back the signals? All right, here's Vince's profits for the day. Yeah, I'll send you the links right now. Yes. There you go. Yeah, so here's Vince's profits for the day so far. Vince's profits at 86.50 off his first account, full TP. And then his second account over here, he took 855 full TP as well. So yeah, Vince took that buy from earlier this morning, or not too long ago, like earlier right here, around like 727. All right, so there's no other entries for right now, guys. I mean, we've been looking for price to come back down, but price hasn't come back down yet. Looking over here on all the time frames, looks like price is starting to shift up a little bit. So on the 2 hour over here, we have a bearish bias. 1 hour, we have a bearish bias. 30 minute, we have a bearish bias. 10 minute, we currently have price shifting to the upside. It's still bearish, but it's pushing up. And the 5 minute over here as well. 5 minute is also pushing up. 1 minute over here is obviously bullish. So it looks like price might be shifting back to the upside. I don't know what's really pushing price up right now. I think the main thing that could be pushing price up is really just the Senate meeting that's going on right now, because they're discussing about the issue with the SVB collapse. And I'm pretty sure that the Treasury Secretary is pretty much giving, oh man, it's Yellen. So it's, I thought there was a different Treasury Secretary. So I guess basically Yellen over here, she's basically, I'd say she's telling everyone, like giving everybody positive feedback about like what happened with the bank, right? So if you guys were aware of like what happened last week, the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. That was like one of the biggest collapses since like 2008, right? This was indicating that we're going to like a really bad recession. So what the Senate here is discussing is they're pretty much asking her like, how did this happen? How could this have been prevented? What are we doing to prevent this from happening again in the future? So like basically the Treasury Secretary is telling the Senate, of course, you know, good things because they want to hear the good things so that we don't get too scared about a collapse. So, well, I think that's what's happening right now. They're basically discussing right now. That's why price is going up. I think this is all manipulation. It's just, you know, whatever the Senate is telling or is discussing right now is pushing price up, but eventually I think price will come back down. So if you know, if you guys do decide to trade, I'd recommend to be very careful. If you guys don't feel comfortable about a position, just pull out. For me personally, I was looking for a sell here, but it does not look like we're going to have a sell come down from now until 8 o'clock. Our live session typically runs till 8 o'clock. It's 12 minutes till then. And right now price is just too high. So even if we were to get a correction back to the downside, it's probably not going to happen until the Senate is done speaking. So the Senate's still speaking right here. They've only been speaking for like 30 minutes now. Yeah, they've been speaking for like about 30 minutes. So she's probably going to keep speaking, or they're going to start speaking for maybe another 30 minutes to an hour, which obviously is a lot of time. Yeah, DeJohn said the last time they did damage control, it lasted for about a day, then dropped 500 points. Yeah, and I agree with you too, DeJohn. So looking at this right here, like what DeJohn's mentioning, he's mentioning that they're doing damage control, like the Senate speaking with the Treasury Secretary. They're probably going to speak for like the next couple of hours. Price is probably going to keep pushing up, and then eventually price is going to crash right back down. You can see over here in the 1 hour, price is pushing up and is rejecting off the pivots, right? So you can see over here, I think this is the last time they did damage control. This is like when they said that the other banks were going to collapse, or I think someone like basically the government bought out the banks so that they wouldn't fail. So what happened right here is price pushed up. So price was dropping for like a couple hours, and then price shot back up, right? And then it corrected back down. So that's basically what's happening over here again. Price is pushing back up, and eventually it's going to come back down, right? Because we're going through a recession, so I don't expect the market to be very bullish anytime soon. Maybe some slight correction here, but not necessarily enough to shift it back up. If you guys look over here on the 1 hour, price has been bearish since. So if you guys look over here on the 1 hour time frame, you can see price has been bearish since December 13th. So from December 13th up until today, price has been dropping a lot. So if you measure this, so measure this high over here to current price right now, price has dropped about 34,610 pips. So that's a lot of, that's a big drop from like December up until now, right? I don't expect price to correct back anytime soon. We might get some retracement, but I'm expecting price to drop down lower and lower as we go deeper and deeper into this recession. So I'm not expecting price to really reverse at this point. I mean, at some point it's going to come back down. If you guys want to look at some resistance points, you guys can just draw resistance at the highs. So there's a lot of price points here where price can shift back down, right? Price can push up and come right back down. So just something to keep in mind, guys. This isn't to worry you guys. It's just, it's just how the market is right now. We're going through a recession. I'm not expecting the market to be good for like the rest of the year. I think market's going to keep dropping for the rest of the year, long term. Maybe not on the short time frames, but on the higher time frames, I'm expecting price to come back down at some point. Let's see. All right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I think we'll be done for today for the most part. You know what I'll do here? Let me see if I could even pull it up right now. I think I already have a spreadsheet. Yeah, so what I'll do, guys, is I'll create a spreadsheet and then I'll share it with you guys. You guys can just input your information if you guys want to go back and like back test stuff. And then, or if you guys want to create your own spreadsheet, that's fine too. I'll just show you guys what my spreadsheet looks like, and I'll put like some entries in there so that you guys can see what it looks like. And then you guys can either work with it or you guys can make some changes and make something similar. But I'll send that over to you guys. So, all right, guys, it's 7 minutes till 8. I'm not expecting any entries here. As you guys can see over here on all the time frames, price is pushing up super heavy. I wouldn't chase this buy to the upside, guys. This is like super overextended. If you look over here on the 1 minute, price is like way too high. The Fed started speaking over here, or the Senate started speaking over here around like 7 o'clock. So you can see that this big push up right here is all based off what's happening in the news right now. It's currently up almost 4,000 pips. That's a really big push up. I wouldn't recommend chasing it because as soon as they're done talking, or as soon as Yellen says something bad, price is likely to come right back down. Because they can only say so many good things until price corrects back down. There's no reason for price to be up this high. Like it went up 4,000 pips in like how many minutes? Use this real quick. All right, so from this point right here, 717, it's only been like 30 minutes, guys. If you guys can see here, in 30 minutes, price went up almost 4,000 pips. You see how crazy that is? That's pretty crazy for it to push up that much within this short period of time. This is all based off the news. So I wouldn't recommend you guys go ahead and chase that. Question from Gion. Gion's asking, FTMO top leader payouts is monthly or every 15 days? For 200K, you just need 20% to make top 10%. Yeah, I know. I think it's every month, Gion. So it's monthly. So like for me, I don't take too many trades. That's why I'm never really on that leaderboard. I barely make like maybe less than 10% a month, which I'm happy with because I'm consistent with my profits. So I don't really aim for that. But I think if we keep applying the strategy that Vince is doing, I think pretty much everyone could be on leaderboard at that point because you're just going to keep winning every single day. So yeah. All right, guys. So if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can email me at sean@kodikaitrades.com. Again, if you guys are brand new here and you guys want to learn these strategies that we just discussed, go ahead and go to our website, kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access right here. This will give you access to all the videos that you guys can watch to learn all the strategies that we've been discussing on these live sessions. And this is all completely free. I'm not here to sell you guys anything, right? If you guys want to have access to the indicators, it's great. You guys can go and get access to it, but I'm not really pushing anything because as I mentioned before, I want to stay under the radar. The more money we make trading, the better. And, if we get on the radar, then we're going to have to start to shift up our strategies. So I think for now, if you guys want access to everything, just go on either our YouTube channel or our website. Our YouTube channel over here, if you guys pull it up, if you guys are new here and you guys aren't already subscribed to it, just subscribe and turn on notifications. I go live every day from 6:30 to 8, Monday through Friday. And then we have a mentoring session every Monday. So if you guys want to sit in on those sessions, it's completely free. You just subscribe and turn on notifications and YouTube will email you whenever I go live. So I go live about like 6 or 7 times a week. And yeah, if you want to watch any of the live sessions, everything's with blue. All the trading results from everybody in the group's in yellow. All the mentoring sessions are in green and all the strategy videos are in red. So yeah, if you guys want to go and check that out, feel free. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you guys then. I'll send you guys